There's nothing fair about life. It's not fair is not a word to describe human, being. It's just not.
Yeah.
So when you look at a relationship, should it be meaningful and should you work to, have a relationship in which both people feel appreciated and respected? Yeah. Does that mean it has to be a fair division of tasks? No.
No.
It's the same with like running a business. Would you say what a CEO does every day and all the facets with which a CEO is responsible for, is it fair that he oversees 50 things and the accountant only has to do the one thing? Is that fair? No, but it's the division of labor that works.
Welcome to Married to the Startup. I'm Alicia Mackenzie, a wellness entrepreneur and digital creator. Alongside me is my amazing husband, George, the CEO who's always ready for a new challenge. We've been navigating marriage and running startups for over a decade, and we're here to share the real, unfiltered journey with you. Join us for insights and candid conversations about integrating love, family, and entrepreneurship. This is Married to the Startup, where every day is a new adventure. Welcome to episode 58 of Married to the Startup. I'm your host, Alicia Mackenzie.
I'm Ron Burgundy. I feel like I'm Ron Burgundy, and we were just doing the Scotchy Scotch thing. So
You are Ron Burgundy.
I am Ron Burgundy today.
Today's episode,
Yes.
we're talking about money.
My favorite subject.
I love money.
Me too.
Green's my favorite color.
It is.
Married to the Startup. Our situation is a little unique in that George doesn't believe a marriage is 50-50.
That's not what I said.
I asked you, do you believe a marriage is 50-50? And you said no.
Yeah, I think you were inferring to division of labor.
I was, maybe.
Okay.
But most marriages, I feel like, are based on assumption.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. I assume that you're going to handle X, Y, and Z. And then when that's not happening, I get bitter and resentful.
Correct. I think that happens quite frequently.
It does.
Yeah.
But if everything feels good and everything's going well and everything's smooth, then it's great. If not, it's pure chaos.
Correct.
Yes?
Yeah.
And you've got silent resentment. You've got the mental load of everything weighing down on said person, whether it's the dad or the mom, if you're the default parent.
All right, where's this going?
Our marriage runs like a business.
Yeah, and I think that's what when you were saying those things, I was relating it to, running a company.
Yes.
I think they're very similar.
Yes.
Right? So, when you're just if you have like a vibe management style, so like vibe coding, it's just a vibe management style where everything's just hunky dory and you do whatever it takes, and these are lessons in business that I learned the hard way, right? Is when you just have that vibe, everyone's just we're a small business, we're entrepreneurs, we're scrappy, we're just gonna do everything.
Yeah.
And everyone's just doing everything and balls drop constantly because everybody's working on the same thing, or
everybody assumes
someone else has got the other thing. Right. Yeah. And I think that parlays into marriage kind of similarly. Like, I think that my wife is going to handle X, Y, or Z, so I'm not going to focus on that. And then she thinks, oh, no, my husband's going to handle X, Y, and Z. I'm going to focus on this. And the next thing you know, a child gets left at volleyball practice. Not that that's ever happened. I'm just saying.
We didn't forget her. We didn't forget her. We just forgot the fact that there was no practice that day.
Exactly. That's all.
Things fall through the cracks.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that it's an interesting parallel there, right? So when you look at, things that I recommend to founders and, have been able to help me be successful, like when we look at scaling up and it's doing those, process accountabilities, the functional accountability charts are, I think if you don't have one as a small business, you need to. Doing that kind of functional accountability chart has been successful for me.
So when you're talking about functional accountability chart, and I can see it in my head, right? It's who's in charge of revenue, who's in charge of brand management, who's in charge of operations.
Yeah. So it's basically you just take the functions of a business. Like, what are the top five functions to make this business successful?
And that's like your head of company.
Right.
and your
Yeah.
accountant.
Who's in charge of sales? Who's in charge of marketing? Who's in charge of accounting? Who's in charge of hiring?
Yes.
Like all these key functions of a business. It's like in a household.
Yeah.
You have nutrition. Like who's accountable for nutrition? That includes, buying the groceries, figuring out the meals. Whose, function is it to pay the bills? Whose function is it to, make sure the kids, school routine is set? Whose function is it to make sure that the after school activities are set? Whose function is it to take care of laundry? Whose function is it? Like all those things make a household work. And
That
then,
sounds like a lot of my job.
I'm just saying, if you don't have, and then you align the function to the person,
Yeah.
and then eventually you have, in a business, you would have, performance metrics and, lead and lag indicators of how do you know that that function is performing as expected.
So at what point is a marriage too much like a business? Because I think for us it works because both of our brains work that way.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. What I just described is very on the business side, but I think from most people probably do that intuitively. You just don't have
Do you
it
think?
documented. Yeah, or you don't have it kind of set in stone and it's not agreed upon. And I think that's where a lot of the issues come in, where both of us think we know it, but neither of us have talked about it and agreed to it, and you just assume, and that's where the resentment and all that stuff comes in. And at certain points, you got to just say, "Hey, let's talk it through of who's doing what." And then, you don't want it to be too much like a business. You don't want to lose all the romanticism and everything that is in a marriage, right? The things that drew you to each other, and the reason why you want to stay married to that person is not so you can run a successful family. It's right.
Are you sure?
At least for me, it's not. Yeah. But saying, hey, instead of, going, you're in charge of nutrition, but then you expect me to go buy the groceries. Like that's a tight mismatch. That'd be like saying, in a business, you're in charge of accounting, but, I want to run the bank account.
Yeah.
Like that, you can't do both.
So how early on in a company should you set your roles, right? Because like you said, in the beginning, you're scrappy and everybody is doing everything because it has to be done.
Yeah, I think from the very beginning you should.
Yeah.
Because you fall into traps and there's too many balls going on. Too many things you have to do.
Yeah.
And it's mostly the shitty stuff that nobody wants to do. Like when it comes to, hey, sales. Sales can be exciting when you're growing a company and when you have a lot of leads and people are coming to you. So everyone wants a facet of the sales cycle. But when it comes to, hey, we won the deal, and let's say in a services-based business, we won the deal and now we got to hire 10 people. Like, that's not sexy. Opening a job rec, weeding through resumes, scheduling interviews, all of that shit. No one really wants to do that. It's just, and then eventually if no one's in charge of it, it kind of just falters. And then the same with making sure you keep your business registered in the state in which you're doing business, keeping the SEC filings going, keeping the insurance up. Like all that stuff is mundane and nobody really wants to do it. And if no one's accountable for it, then everyone just assumes, well, that's not good work. Someone else will do that. And then same with the family. Like when it comes to like doctor's appointments, if you just assume someone else is going to do it and they assume the other person's going to do it, kids never go to the doctors.
I mean, I assume I'm going to do it. You assume I'm going to
exactly.
do it.
So, because it's an unspoken kind of functional accountability chart we've done.
Yeah.
So I think that having those honest conversations and getting the functions defined in a business and in a marriage are important. But you don't want to go too far where it's, a business where, because, one of the articles I was reading was talking about, hey, doing the functional accountability and then having weekly tag ups or biweekly. And I think that's a bit much, but,
For a business or for a marriage?
For a marriage.
Really?
Yeah. But even when I talked to my, my therapist, they were also saying, hey, you should do monthly check-ins with your spouse.
Okay.
Right? And then that I agree with. Like doing a monthly check-in of, hey, how's everything going? Is it, are we on the same page? If not, why? And then, if your emotional needs aren't being met or whatever's not being met, you talk about it. Not in an accusatory fashion, but you kind of just check in on how things are going. And I know it's been a stressful month for you. So, this has happened, blah, blah, blah. And maybe using that opportunity to check in of, hey, is everything still correct with our functional accountability? And it's like a business too. that you want to assign the functions to the person who's capable of doing it.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like in a business, you wouldn't say this guy who's the CEO and he's the sales leader, he's an amazing salesperson, and go, okay, you're in charge of accounting.
Yeah.
And Johnny, who's a CFO, he's going to do sales. Like, no, it's got to be aligned to skill set, because you want to be in the position, especially in a family, you want to succeed at all costs. So you want to make sure that things are lined up to the person that's more apt to do it.
Okay, so like quarterly offsites.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. And I thought that was an amazing recommendation and we kind of do it all the time anyway. Once a quarter, you and I will go on mommy daddy trip, as they say.
Yeah, but like I hate that fucking term.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, we go on I think it's just a George and Alicia trip.
But once a year, like we go on a big trip for
yes.
a week.
Yeah, but we'll go on smaller ones at least once a quarter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even if it's a night or two, just to be you and me and
away from our children.
Yeah, you're not parents, you're not your husband and wife. It's fun.
And nobody has to cook and nobody has to clean.
Exactly.
But I think we've also done a good job at outsourcing what we don't want to do.
Yeah,
right?
it's the same with a business. The same thing. When you go through that functional accountability chart, there could be some functions that are best suited to be outsourced. So if you're a very small business and your CEO is a rock star salesperson and your CRO or COO is amazing at service delivery or delivery or managing the team, and you don't have that CFO type.
Yeah.
Someone's got to do that accounting function, and maybe it's more conducive to outsource that than to try to assign it to someone that already exists in the company.
Yeah. Similarly, like if you suck at painting,
you outsource it.
You outsource it.
Yeah.
And I only bring this up because we just painted 2 bedrooms this weekend.
We did.
And it was not fun.
But there was parts of it that were fun. I loved being able to see the fruit of your labor immediately. Like you do something and then 4 hours later, the room is painted. And you're like, wow, we did that. Versus I punched a keyboard for 8 hours, 6 months a year. And then you go, wow, I did it.
Yeah.
What'd you do? I don't know.
Yes. But
yeah.
From here on out, I will be outsourcing painting.
Yeah. And there's other things that even in depending on your budget, right? You got to set your budget, and the same thing in a business and in a household. If you go, hey, laundry is the bane of our existence, right? It's hard for us to do this. And maybe it makes financial sense to say, hey, once a week, we're going to outsource laundry.
Yeah.
Right? We're going to have a laundry pickup service or a fluff and fold, and we're going to do that once a week on a Friday, and it's going to be the bulk of somebody's, the kids' clothes maybe is too frequent, you got to do that every day, but maybe the adult clothing, we're going to outsource that function once a week.
Which, okay, we've done this a few times.
We did that for a while.
We did it for a while before we actually hired somebody to come in-house. But it's not as expensive as one would think, right? It was like $2 a pound or something.
Yeah, and it becomes, it could be that little bit to free up time that you can allocate that time to being husband and wife.
Yeah.
And not, overstressing your relationship because you're too busy. Every hour of the day is devoted to some function. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the same said for mowing the grass. I used to love mowing the grass, but it became to a certain point where the time trade-off, you're like, hey, it takes 3-4 hours on a Saturday.
We also had 8 acres.
Yeah. It takes X amount of hours to mow the grass, and you got kid commitments and all these, there's just not time.
Yeah.
So outsourcing it, made the most sense. Mm-hmm. And there's a, I don't know what you call it. It's not a philosophy, but it's not a meme.
Framework.
It's a kind of maybe a framework for life goals. At a certain point, you want to be able to mow your own grass. Right? Yeah. And then you get to a point where I want to outsource that. Yes. And then later in life, you go back to mowing my own grass again, right? Because you hit this wealth. You're like, I'm too poor. I can't afford to pay anybody to mow my grass. I mow my grass myself. Hey, I can afford this. I'm going to get joy out of outsourcing that function. And then you get later in life, it's like, no, my joy is doing that function.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Which is, when you look at the household work and the things that we do, like you said, we got some joy out of painting the bedroom. Yeah. Right? And as crazy as it sounds, I get some joy out of doing my own fucking dishes. Mm-hmm. There are things.
But you have to fight your mom for that. Your mom, if we were doing a functional accountability chart, she owns the kitchen.
Oh my God.
That is her zen. For the day, how do I calm down for the day? She puts on the rubber gloves and she does dishes and cleans the kitchen. And that's her zone time. And
That's
that's
her
when,
thing.
you and I are in full bath mode. Like, all right,
Got kids all over the place.
two boys got a shower.
Which we need a new hot water heater.
We need a hot water solution.
We need
I'm
a
not
hot
sure it's a
water
new hot water
solution.
heater. We just need to figure out a solution. Is it tankless? Is it
I don't know. But when you
tank with a
have like
tankless, or I don't
6
know.
people bathing at once,
And a dishwasher and washing machines going, it's a lot.
it's a lot. Our little water heater can't keep up.
Yeah, but I think it was
You
an
need to
interesting.
work that into
I
your
do.
project plan for this year.
Yeah, wasn't on the list, but it's probably something we probably need to work in because it's a need.
Yes. Anyways.
But it's interesting to think about. Like, I think the article that I forwarded, we were talking about it, is like looking at your relationship more like a business. In fact, if how do you want your family life to be successful? Okay, how do we do that? And then what are the functions that make a successful family life?
Yeah.
And then even to that point of, we need time for each other. And you got to balance that in too, to say, okay, the quarterly offsites, like, oh, let's have a quarterly. And if if your budget constrained, the quarterly offsite could be a day. On Saturday, we're going to have a babysitter, and Saturday, once a quarter, we're going to drive somewhere
Yeah.
and go for a hike together. We're going to.
But like there are things that we did as like before we had money.
Yeah.
Right? Like what was the glamping?
Yeah, we did. That was great.
It was great. Like I would do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
It was inexpensive.
It was inexpensive. It was close. What the heck was the name of it? It was
Getaway.
The Getaway House.
Getaway House, yeah.
The Getaway House. So if you look up Getaway House, and this isn't a sponsored ad, but if you look them up, they have little, I would say, tiny houses
Yeah.
situated in woodsy areas outside of metropolitan areas, right? So it's like Shenandoah Valley, which is maybe 90 minutes from Washington, D.C. There's a few in New York, like 90 minutes outside of the city. There's these little tiny houses that are all wood and have huge windows, and
Yeah, it's just like it's a tiny house, truly one.
yeah, but there's no Wi-Fi, there's no television.
Yeah,
like you and I, we played strip poker, like we did all sorts of
listen
just
to music, and
random.
You have a fire pit, and you're just like
It was
chilling.
great.
Yeah,
It was
we had
great.
a couple bottles of wine. It was great.
A couple of bottles of wine.
Yeah,
Did we?
we were there for more than one night.
Okay, I'm like that's just
Jeez.
excessive
It wasn't
for one night.
We were there for a couple nights,
Yeah, but no, and I think it was.
and then we went for hikes during the day.
Yeah.
And we went to like the Blue Lagoon, like
Yeah.
swimming. It was awesome.
It was great.
And
So
I think, it was relatively inexpensive. And you bring your own food. There's like,
right, but like here's the thing: like we say relatively inexpensive. How many people are buying a new iPhone every year?
yes,
A lot of people. So it's like prioritize what's important to you. Like, is having that iPhone 17 more important, or is putting away $1,500 for you to go travel for the year to little places like this?
yeah, agreed.
Okay, let's chat fair play.
Oh,
So there was a book called Fair Play, and I think it came out in like 2019, 2020, and it really started to gain traction because of this unspoken, invisible labor, right? All of the things that we do in the house that isn't tied to any real job, right? It's like picking up the toys at the end of the night. It's making sure that the trash is taken out,
Yeah.
or like just random.
it's the Chuck E. Cheese reset. That's what I call it. At the end of
Basically.
every night. You got to put everything back to where it was.
But it was like a cultural reference
Yeah, I
point
remember.
because a lot of women were feeling overworked and underappreciated and underpaid. And this happened right around, like, I would say it really gained traction during COVID, like 2020, 2021. And let's be honest, we were all really fucking stressed out during that time. So it's hard to say that what came first, the chicken or the egg, like where women are always stressed out and this book just amplified it, or so on and so forth.
It's interesting because.
But you are vehemently against all of the principles within fair play.
I am pretty much. I'm not sure that's the right way to look at it. Fair is a friend of ours. Like, fair is the one word, that's the one F word that his kids aren't allowed to say in the house.
Yeah.
Which I agree with. There's nothing fair about life. It's not fair is not a word to describe human, being. It's just not.
Yeah.
So when you look at a relationship, should it be meaningful, and should you work to, have a relationship in which both people feel appreciated and respected? Yeah. Does that mean it has to be a fair division of tasks? No.
No.
It's the same with like running a business. Would you say what a CEO does every day and all the facets with which a CEO is responsible for, is it fair that he oversees 50 things and the accountant only has to do the one thing? Is that fair? No, but it's the division of labor that works.
What about compensation? How does that play into it, right? A CEO is compensated more than your CFO.
I know, but that's the one thing I like that. It's in general terms, it is in a publicly traded or a large business. That's true. In the vast majority of small businesses, the CEO is probably one of the lowest paid people.
Probably.
Right?
Yeah.
They're banking on the equity. That's their pay.
Yeah.
That's their, like I used to tell people at DPS, I had a very small portion of, I only did the 3% to the 401k. And one of my other partners was like, why don't you max out the 401k, for your retirement? I'm like, no, this fucking company is my retirement plan. Like, all my effort is here. All my money is here. I'm trying to make this work.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm going to invest 5% of my salary, it's going to go back into the company to grow this fucking company, not to invest in stocks.
Yes.
And I think that that's the mentality of most CEOs. Like, my salary, I want to make enough to get by, but I'm banking on the exit. The
company.
Yeah.
The company is my paycheck.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think the problem with fair play, and it's not really a problem. It's just, it's not my cup of tea. Like, it might work for some families.
Right. For some people, it might work.
But it's like I think there was a game that came out where you have cards and each card it has a job listed on it.
Okay.
And then you separate out who is normally responsible. And then if you look at
the piles of cards,
they should be about equal.
Mm-hmm.
And if one side is heavily weighed down versus the other side, that there's a big indivision of labor.
Yeah.
So.
But I guess if you were to say, our household budget is X.
Okay.
Right? And we need X amount of revenue coming into the family.
Yes.
Like, how is that separated division? Do you stack it the same with cards and be like, oh, she's the wife is accountable for this much, the husband is accountable for this much, and they each have one card, or one has 10 cards, one has one card?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so there's a lot of other things that make a family work besides just the operational tasks.
Yeah.
And the stress. Oh, who's stressing about retirement? Who's stressing about college? Who's college payments? Like,
we can't use that in this relationship.
I'm saying, but other people do, right?
Yes.
And a lot of times, one person in the relationship bears that stress.
I just meant
and
that.
And sometimes it's the woman that's like, I've got to, because there's some relationships in which the male is the spender.
Yeah.
And the female is the saver. And she's the one stressing about, how in the hell am I going to pay for college? How are we ever going to retire? You constantly buy bass boats and buy all these other things. How am I going to retire? And then another relationship is the guy going, how am I going to afford to send my kids to college? How can I retire one day?
Yeah.
Like, stressing. I mean, there's a reason more men die of heart attacks and stress-related diseases than women.
Why is that, though?
Because we stress.
But why?
Because a lot of it's, and you would, it's, I guess, a trait of maybe it's, built into our DNA.
Right, and not like
hunter-gatherer. Like, I go out and hunt. That's my thing.
Is it more of like it's an evolutionary, like, learned trait?
I'm the protector. I have to protect my family. I'm stressing about, making sure that my family has everything they need to succeed, and making sure that when I'm dead, my wife will still be able to be okay. Like, all these things that you think about as a man, that you're like, okay, I have to take care of my family. I have to take care of all these things, and
the Taylor Swift song is in my head.
Which is what?
I protect the family. Sorry,
I don't know that song.
Oh my God, you're the worst. You're the worst. Anyways, sorry, keep going.
Yeah, but I mean, so I don't know. It's hard. That's why I think, like, invisible tasks or whatever that. I mean, if you just break it down by tasks, maybe. But there's hundreds of tasks that have to be done, but not every task is weighted the same.
Yeah. Feels transactional.
It does. Because then it'll be like, oh, I did 5 things, you did 10 things.
Yeah.
You should do 7, I should do 7.
I mean,
even though,
we should try it for a week and see how long we last.
Yeah. No, because it wouldn't work. Because
it wouldn't work.
I would do dishes, and then you guys would just complain about, oh, you didn't load the dishwasher right, or that's not clean. You didn't put that back where it should be.
That's a my mom thing.
I'm just saying, like, that's the way it works. Or that's not how you fold a towel. And I'm like,
I would never say that.
It got folded and it got put away.
I would never say that.
I've seen you take towels out and refold them.
That's because Jesse folded them wrong.
I have folded them and you've taken them out and refolded them.
When? When is the last time you folded
Years
a towel?
ago. A couple weeks ago, maybe. I do laundry every now and again. A load here and there when something's broken.
Anyways, you're full of shit. That's why your eyes are brown.
Not funny. Not funny. No. I don't know if that's it becomes a tit for tat game. And then I don't know if you can have a loving, meaningful relationship that if you just play tit for tat all the time.
Yeah.
And I think but it can be too far, right? Like, you don't want to take advantage of your spouse and be like, hey, you do everything. I'll sit on the couch and do nothing. Right? I don't think that is an equitable exchange.
Yeah.
Because if you respected your partner and you want them to be happy as well, and if you see that they're always doing stuff, then you want to take some of that load off.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So where do we go from here?
I don't know. That was down a tangent I wasn't expecting to talk. I don't know if I'd want to play that fair game thing.
We should try it. We should try it just to see.
I think there'd be a bigger stack of outsourced.
You think?
Probably.
We've done a good job at outsourcing what we don't want to do.
Yeah, exactly. And things that are,
I feel like we've always been good at that.
Yeah, things that you're not best suited to do. What can someone else do? And we have the privilege too. There's 3 of us to divide the labor.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah. So, yeah, we got a lot of things going for us, which is nice.
Okay. Well, if your household is running on vibes alone, maybe steal an idea from this episode and test it out for 30 days.
Yeah, exactly. Or just think about it. Even if you don't want to bring it up with your spouse immediately, look over what are the functions that make our lives, our families operate. Mm-hmm. And then who's doing all those functions?
Could you imagine being a dink?
No.
What would you do?
You'd have a lot more free time.
I guess we would. But then there was one weekend where you guys were gone with all the kids, and I
in Minnesota, yeah.
Yeah, I texted my girlfriend. I was like, hey, I'm going to come to so-and-so's basketball game. She's like, ma'am, this is the first weekend you don't have to go to a basketball game. She's like, please go do something else. I'm like, okay. I'll just hang out with my friends' kids, right? Like, my kids were gone. I'm going to come hang out with your children.
Yeah, I think it makes life exciting. But yeah, I'm sure that there's other passions that other people have that
For sure.
they fill their life with.
I follow this one woman on Instagram, and she's older. I would say she's like maybe 47, 48. And her husband's older than she is. They chose not to have children, but she says that she's child free and she's like the world's greatest auntie. I feel like if I didn't have kids, that would be me.
Yeah, I could see that.
Or I'd have 1 million dogs.
Yeah. As long as you don't have cats.
And a ranch.
Just no cats. Well, I'd die for a ranch right now.
With horses.
I would love to have a ranch. No horses, though. I'd do cows.
I floated the idea of leaving DC to Michaela after she graduated.
Yeah.
And she was like, there's no way you guys are going to do it.
Why?
Because she's like, she doesn't believe it. She's like, you would never leave DC. I'm like, what? It's like, I think I've got your dad on board.
Oh, I think I could leave tomorrow.
Okay. Anyways. Anything left?
No.
Any closing words or anything weighing on your heart about fair play and division of labor?
No.
No?
No. No. But yeah.
Speak now or forever hold your peace.
No, I'm good. I'm vibe living.
Thank you for tuning in to Married to the Startup. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please take a moment to like, rate, and subscribe to our podcast. Your support helps us reach more people and keeps the conversation going. If you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, drop me a message. I love hearing from you guys. Until next time.
George, out.